Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is January 10th, so you know what that means. Classes start on Monday. Today is Saturday, so I have 2 days, if you're counting today, left of my break, but that also means it is time to start planning and prepping for the upcoming semester. For those of you who don't know, I am a second year optometry student at Indiana University. Go Hoosiers. And this is my spring semester, so spring 2026 of my second year. And I have now done, let's see, 4 semesters of optometry school. So I have learned a thing or two about how to properly set up and prepare yourself to have a successful semester. And I just wanted to share that all with you today. I think you can apply this if you're in optometry school, grad school, undergraduate, high school, whatever you may be, or if you just honestly want to get your life kind of organized and off to a good start in the new year. So I'm going to take you through kind of my semester startup routine today and show you all of my tips and tricks to get really organized. The first thing in my semester setup routine is to go ahead and add all of my classes into my Apple Calendar. So I like to go through and color coordinate and give all of my classes kind of a fun emoji. So this one here, I am just going to kind of switch over and edit the ones that I had in the fall semester. So I'm taking binocular vision again, like part 2 of the class. So I'm just going to add binocular vision 2 to that one. Click OK. And then those are all good to stay. I like to make my exams and like proficiencies this red color so that it really stands out on my calendar. This one I also have again, but this one is ocular disease 2. Our posterior segment of the eye is what we'll be focusing on more in that class. So anything in the retina we'll learn about, where before we kind of learned about more of your cornea and whatnot. This one is going to change because I'm all done with pharmacology, so that's really exciting. But it is going to become contact lenses. And then I kind of go through and see if there's anything that I feel like would be a cute little emoji for it. And then I'm taking ophthalmic optics again here. So I'm just going to leave that directly as is. And then I have also, this one is just like my clinical science class. So we'll just change it to that. And we don't have an optometric profession course, so I'll get rid of that one. But now that these are all cute, I will go in and add them. Let's say this was optics. I'm just going to put that in and put optics lecture. And then I like to go in and add the little emoji next to it that was optics, and then tag it here under optics. And then that is how it'll show up in my calendar. Really cute here with my little emoji and coordinated color. Okay, so I put everything in just kind of at different times, and this is kind of what it all looks like when I'm all done with it. So I just kind of have this cute little pastel color scheme going on here. Okay, and then really similarly, I'm going to go ahead and put all of my dates into my time blocking template here that I have on Notion. So Notion is something new that I'm going to be using this semester, and I will keep you all updated on what I think and how I like it. But I am just going to go ahead and put in when I have my classes and get all of this set up now so that I can, my plan is to just kind of come in here and block out when I'm going to study and work out and edit YouTube videos and whatnot. So let me fill this out really quickly, and then I will show you all kind of my plan. Okay, Okay, so here is kind of a rough look at what I'm envisioning my time blocking to kind of look like. So I have my lectures and labs placed into here, and I will just keep this the same every week and then just go in on the start, I think, of each day and kind of think about what I'm going to want to do where. So, for example, on Mondays, I plan on waking up around 6, and then I will most likely head straight to the gym and work out from like 6:30 to about 8ish. So I block out that time to work out, and then I know here that I'll have like this kind of open time here. If I wanted to get really specific, I could probably put in here that this block of time is like travel time for going to class and whatnot, depending on if I were to be going in person to that class. But that's just kind of how I'm envisioning this to work out, and we'll see how I like it, and I will keep you all updated on it. So while we are in my Notion, I just want to give you a quick Notion tour of what I'm kind of roughly thinking about using. So this is my first time I'm ever going to be using Notion in a semester, and I'm really excited to see how I feel about it. So this specifically is what my school Notion kind of looks like here. So each of my classes has its own course, and then I'm going to have my assignments inputted in down here as well. And so when you click on each course, you can open it up and I'll put in my assignments that I have, and they'll automatically kind of populate right down here, and I can check them off as I go, which is really nice. And then I am just a big like brain dump person. So as I get notes from each lecture, I'll just write down what date that lecture was with a little to do. So let's say like today I had a lecture, I would do like 1:10 notes. And then once I get those typed out and taken care of, I can just check it off, because I am just such a big brain dump person that I think it's going to be really nice to organize it by class. And then I just have my upcoming things, like I have competency here in about a month, and then just some goals that I have for my semester. And then I'm also involved in some clubs, and I just make sure I have a little area down there for that. So that is how I'm planning on using Notion to organize my school life this year, and I'm really curious to see how it's going to go and what I think of it, and I will make sure to keep you all updated throughout the semester on how it's working for me, if I like it and whatnot. So I'll let you know. I personally think a key part of setting yourself up for success for a new semester is by meal prepping. Meal prepping seriously saves me so much time. And I know that sounds so cliche to say, but it honestly is just so nice to be able to just throw something in the microwave, or not even, and just get going. You don't have to think about it. It's way healthier. I have already meal prepped kind of my lunches and dinners. My dinners kind of fluctuate week to week or night to night. And that I don't meal prep as much, but that's okay because I personally really like to cook. And so it's kind of fun for me to be able to cook every few nights. I'd say most of our meals last us like 2 or 3 nights. So I'm not cooking every single night, but a couple times a week, which I personally enjoy. Because I'll be honest, I get sick of meal prep. So I need to have at least one change, and for me changing my dinner up suffices for me. Sorry, my camera just ran out of storage, so I'm picking this back up on my phone. But I don't meal prep these huge giant things. It's more things that'll last me like 3 or 4 days, because I get sick of meal prep so quickly. But I have also found recipes that I actually want to eat for 3 or 4 days in a row. So that is what I aim to share with you. And what I'm sharing today, this morning, is one of those recipes. So I am going to be meal prepping my breakfast, and I am making tiramisu baked oats. Now, this is not my recipe, but they are from, I believe, like the Glow Diaries or something like that. But I will make sure to link the source down below. These are incredible. They keep so well, and it literally tastes like you're eating dessert for breakfast, but it's actually healthy and good for you. You don't even have to heat these up in the morning. You can literally just scoop out your serving and go. I am my most productive in the morning, so it's really nice being able to have something that's not going to take time away from my key moments of productivity in the day. So let me show you how I make them. Okay, first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 350, which I've already done, and then you want to spray a baking sheet about this size with avocado oil. And then to your bowl, you're going to go ahead and add about 200 grams of ripe bananas. And once you have added your bananas, you want to go ahead and mash them until they're smooth. Now into this bowl, I am going to be adding 600 milliliters of almond milk, 6 ounces of espresso or like strongly brewed coffee. I just have a double shot of espresso here. Then 84 grams of maple syrup. Next up is going to be 50 grams of some almond butter. Then you're going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I personally love vanilla extract, so I personally just eyeball it. And then last but not least, and this might seem a little bit interesting, but you're just going to add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. And then you're going to go ahead and put this back onto your KitchenAid or mix it by hand or whatever you're doing and mix that all together until smooth. Moving on to dry ingredients, you are now going to add about 220 grams of rolled oats, 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, 25 grams of vanilla protein powder. I have always been a big fan of Clean Simple Eats, so that's what I will be using today. And I've used it before in this recipe, and it worked out really, really well. So I know it'll turn out well. And then 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And finally, half a teaspoon of baking soda. And then you're just going to combine all of this together, and then we will add it to our wet ingredients. Okay, once all of your oats are well combined, you are just going to transfer to a 9x13 baking dish. It's going to be pretty liquidy, and that is completely normal because all those oats are going to soak up that liquid that's in there. This is then going to go into the oven at 350 for 35 to 40 minutes until the center is set and the top is golden brown. I am now going to do one of my absolute favorite parts, and that is making really cute folders for the upcoming semester. So I am just going to go into my GoodNotes. I love to use GoodNotes. I think it's the best. And this semester, I'm thinking let's do purple folders for all of them. But I just go through and make a folder for each of my classes, and keeping the cute little themes alive here, I use the same exact emoji that I had used on my calendar for my folders. Now now that I have all of my GoodNote folders made, I am now going to begin the very tedious task of downloading all of my syllabi, reading through them, and importing all of my important dates for exams and proficiencies into my calendar. The last thing that I'm going to do to prep for the start of my semester is just write down a physical to-do list of things that I know I'm going to want to do on Monday. Even though I love Notion and I love my iPad and digital everything, there's also just something about a good paper to-do list that I just love so much. And I love having all the different pen colors, and there's something so satisfying about being able to check off something on paper. So I do still like to use a paper to-do list on my day-to-day, and I am just going to go ahead and fill that out right now so that I am ready to rock and roll on Monday. To finish off this video, I just wanted to give 3 tips that you can use for your upcoming semester. So my first one, and probably my biggest, is to not be afraid to change your organization or study techniques throughout the semester. Sometimes you don't know if what you're doing is working or effective until you've taken that first exam or done that first assignment. And I personally sometimes am changing my study techniques from exam to exam. I definitely know there's been times where I've studied for my 3rd or 4th exam significantly different from how I did that very first exam, because once you can figure out what the question styles are like, then you can tailor your studying and your notes a little bit differently from class to class. So don't have this mindset that it's a one size fits all for every single class or even every single exam. Different exams and different classes are going to require different study techniques, and it's okay to change throughout. You're going to be more effective if you can be flexible. My second tip is to strive for consistency over perfection. Honestly, in school, and especially in grad school, is you don't need to just be perfect and have straight A's. You need to really learn the content, especially going into a doctoral profession. It's really more important for me to make sure that I have a really good grasp of the content. And that comes through consistently showing up to class and consistently taking good notes and just striving for that consistency instead of that perfection. I'd rather have a really good, solid understanding of everything than being really perfect on just like those areas that I think I might be tested on. And my third piece of advice is to just relax and have fun. Honestly, school is just such a minute part of your life, and I'm a firm believer in not letting school get in the way of the rest of your life. So go to the football games, go hang out with your friends, have movie nights with your boyfriend, do all the things, because your life should not be placed on hold just because you're in graduate school. And it's going to take time to figure out how to have that balance and how to be okay with having that balance. But trust me, once you find it, it is so worth it, because in the grand scheme of your life, school is just a tiny part of it. And I think it's more important to be making those memories than just stressing about your grades all the time. I'm not saying put school on the back burner completely, but I think it's really important that you prioritize and find that balance, because you're going to be able to do better in the long run, not burn out as easily, and create lots of memories that are going to last you a lifetime. I guess a bonus fourth piece of advice I have, and it's more just a quote. I don't know who said the quote, but I have it written down in my big quote book. And it's manage the moment you're in, not the miles ahead. And I think that is so important to remind yourself when you're going into a new semester, that all you can do is manage and take care of the assignments and studying and day that you have. Don't think about what you have coming up at the end of the semester, if you have a big project at the end, or if you know it starts to get really busy. Just focus on that one day, take it one day at a time, and everything will kind of fall into place. But that is all that I have for my semester setup video. I hope it was helpful and that you can take some of my tricks and organization techniques and apply them to your semester. Good luck, and thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.